The first time I saw him, I was 8 years old, standing at the edge of my grandparents' backyard in Slender Pines, Wisconsin, staring into a forest that had been whispering my name since the sun went down. I still remember the sinking feeling in my gut, like something ancient had awakened in the trees. He didn't move. He didn't need to. His height, his featureless white face, and his suit, black as midnight, were enough to make my breath catch in my chest. For a second, I thought I was dreaming. But even at that age, I knew nightmares didn't begin with open eyes. That was the first time I met the Slender Man. And it wouldn't be the last. Slender Pines wasn't on any major map. It was one of those rural towns where the trees outnumbered the people, and neighbors spoke in whispers after sundown. Most homes had old barns, rusting swings, and yards that bled into the woods. My parents sent me there every summer, thinking time with my grandparents would build character and give them a break. They didn't know what lived there. Or maybe they did and just didn't believe anymore. The legend of Slender Man wasn't new. It went back decades, possibly centuries. Everyone in town had a version of it, and all of them ended the same way: missing kids, strange symbols on trees, and no one ever found. It wasn't just a story. It was a warning. But kids never listened to warnings. That summer I was 13, old enough to ride my bike down forest trails and brave enough to ignore the curfews. My cousin Josh was 15, wild, and the kind of boy who laughed too loud to notice danger creeping up behind him. We spent most of our days exploring the woods, mapping trails, building forts, and daring each other to go deeper than we should have. One day, we found something. A circle of trees, too perfect to be natural. Their trunks were carved with strange symbols, circles, lines, and runes none of us recognized. In the center, a small pile of bones and a child's toy truck sat like a shrine. Josh laughed it off, said some goth kids were probably playing cult. But I felt it. That cold in your spine that comes when something is watching you and doesn't blink. That night, I couldn't sleep. The woods outside the window seemed louder. Leaves rustling, branches cracking, like something big was moving just out of sight. Then came the tapping. 3 slow taps on the window pane. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Slowly, I turned my head. He was there. Tall. Still. His arms impossibly long, reaching down toward the frame like they could snake through the glass and pull me into darkness. But when I blinked, he was gone. I screamed. My grandparents came running. They said it was a dream. I didn't argue. How could I? Even I wasn't sure anymore. The next morning, Josh was missing. His bed untouched. His bike still leaning against the fence. The police searched, but no one found a thing. No footprints. No scent trail for the dogs. Just one thing, a symbol carved into the tree behind his window. It was the same one we saw in the woods. I didn't say anything. Not then. Not for years. Because deep down I knew. Slender Man had taken him, and I had led him there. Time passed, and I never returned to Slender Pines. My parents sold the house after my grandparents died, and I buried those memories in the same mental drawer where childhood monsters lived. Until 2 months ago, I got a letter. No return address. Just a symbol drawn in black ink on the envelope. Inside, a photo. A blurry image of a boy in a red hoodie, Josh's hoodie, standing in those woods, next to something tall and dark. My hands trembled. Logic told me it was fake. But fear doesn't care about logic. That's when the dreams started again. The tapping. The whispers. The feeling that something was watching me, following me, even in daylight. I quit my job, packed my bags, and drove 12 hours back to Slender Pines. The town hadn't changed much. Still quiet. Still cold. But the people? They looked hollow, like they were trying to forget something their bones remembered. I went to the local library trying to find records, old legends, anything that could make sense of it. One article stood out. 1987. 3 teens vanish in local forest. Only evidence found. Symbol carved into tree. That symbol again. The same one I'd seen in the woods, in my dreams, on the envelope. I took the article and drove to the trailhead. The deeper I walked, the quieter it got. No birds. No wind. Even the trees stood like statues, frozen in silent terror. I found the circle again. The bones were gone, but the toy truck was still there. Newer. plastic not faded by time. I turned around and froze. He was there, standing at the edge of the circle, still, watching. My limbs wouldn't move. His arms began to extend, like branches reaching for prey. But this time I didn't run. I pulled a photo from my jacket and held it up. "Where is he?" I whispered. The world seemed to bend around me, the air thick with static. A voice, not words, but an emotion, pushed into my mind. "You brought him. You left him." The ground cracked beneath me. Shadows rose. And then, darkness. I woke up at home, on my bed, my phone on the table. No missed calls. No sign of the forest. But something was different. There, on my desk, was the photo. Only this time, Josh was closer, clearer, smiling. And behind him, the Slender Man's hand rested on his shoulder like a father's pride. I don't know what it means. Maybe he's still out there. Maybe he became one of them. Or maybe Slender Man doesn't just take people. Maybe he keeps them, changes them. Now I hear the tapping again. Every night. Always 3 times. I moved apartments, changed cities, changed numbers. But it doesn't matter. He finds me. Because once you see him, once you hear the whispers, you're part of the story. You can't run from the Slender Man. He doesn't chase. He waits. And watches. And when you forget to fear him, he reminds you why you should.